In this video, guys, one for scalpers. Do you need to use stops when you're scalping? Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to you. Alright, so thank you for joining me, by the way. Appreciate all your support, likes, comments, shares, all that kind of stuff. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, maybe consider doing so for more videos like this: scalping, mindset, discipline, setups, the lot. We've got a big library of videos and lots more coming up as well. So if you're a scalper, you probably wonder, should you be using stops or not? There's an argument for using stops, and that generally is, hey, listen, stops are there to protect you. Anything can happen. If you get stopped out, this for a reason. You should know where you're coming out the trade before you go into it, and that's perfectly valid. The other argument is, if you're scalping, sometimes you might not have time to put a stop in. Sometimes you might not want to have your exit dictated by a market order. And so in scalping, I think it's slightly different. When you're talking about normal trading, and by the way, guys, we've investigated this before and talked about, do you need stops in normal trading, and is it necessary, and all the kind of things behind that. So go and check some of those videos out if you're interested. I think it's an interesting topic. But for scalping purposes, some people say, hey, you should just be in and out, in and out, in and out. You don't need a stop. But then the counter to that is, well, your risk is unlimited. You could end up getting caught on the wrong side of things. Fine. Now, my view on this is probably to lean towards the side of, you don't need a stop for. And now, by the way, guys, never any recommendation, no advice, all this kind of stuff. You do what suits you and understand the risk in whatever you're doing. We know this game, guys, it's super risky, and just understand that. But my perspective on this is that if you're trading very, very actively, using a hard stop when you're scalping 10, 15, 20, 30 times a day doesn't make that much sense, again, from my opinion, because what you're trying to do when you're scalping is you're trying to find the little inefficiencies in the market short term. So, let's say you're on a 1 minute chart, which is very likely on scalping, the market kind of pops up a little bit, a scalper might look to fade that for a little rotation back, 10 pips or so, 10 ticks, whatever it may be, take the trade out and revisit. Now, whatever market trading, what volatility trading, but we're talking over a very short time period here, a few minutes. So, if you putting your ticket in and putting a stop in and doing this and doing that, the trouble you've got is that, it's very easy because you're so close to the market. If you've got a stop that's, say, 10 ticks and a target of 10 ticks or 15 ticks or whatever, the market can very often just flick up kind of 8 ticks just against you. And, if you've got a stop market order in, it might well just hit that 10 and pin you out. And very often, the market might well come up and then come back down again and rotate round. So from my perspective, you want a little bit of flexibility. You want to be able to say, oh no, I'm wrong, out, hit it. And you might get out 8 ticks, you might get out 11 ticks, you might get out 7 ticks. You're going to be around the 10 tick mark. The problem you have when you've got a fixed stop, and by the way, you need iron discipline for this. If you've got any chink in the arm with discipline, avoid this tactic. But if you've got a flexible stop, if you've got a fixed stop, you basically can be sitting there at eight ticks against you, and you're just waiting for that final 2 ticks to go. But in reality, if you're watching it, it might go 8 ticks against you. You might think, no, I don't want this. You might be able to get out 7 ticks loss, which is quite a lot of difference percentage-wise. Or you might go, okay, now I'm out, and you might get hit out 10 ticks. The difference is when the market gets close to your stop, you're just going to wait for it to be stopped. And generally speaking, a scalper stop is an arbitrary limit. It's not over a key level generally. Sometimes the setups we put it up around a key level, but you might go, yeah, my 10 tick stop, my 20 tick target, or whatever it may be. And the trouble is that when it starts going close to it, you tend to always wait for the stop. Whereas if you've got a little bit more flexibility, as I say, it might go 6, you go, yeah, I'm cutting it. Or it might just go straight to 10 and come straight back down again. And you go, well, actually, I can leave it 1 more tick because there's a big guy on the bid, whatever it is. So you got, and because it might sound like you're overruling things, but in scalping, there's so much more information coming on the market depth and the time and sales and all this kind of stuff that you're looking at, that maybe you do have more information that says, I can afford to wait 1 more tick because it's gone up, it's hit this level, that level's been a bit of a key level here, and I'm going to come out if it doesn't. So you got that flexibility, and plus, you might find that the market is going your favor, and then you're watching it, you want to be in and out. Maybe you want to add to the position. Some people will scale into a position when they're scalping. Some people will adjust and scale around a kind of a position, if you like. So I want to be long from this zone, buy some, scale some out, buy some more, a bit lower, buy some more, scale that out, and then jobbing orders back and forth. And those stops sometimes, you know, isn't conducive to that. So the question is, how do you manage risk then? You know, if you don't use stops, aren't you vulnerable? And the answer is yes, you're super vulnerable. Anything can happen. Let's talk about the redundancy aspect. Internet goes down, any of those things, broker goes down, you're vulnerable to being in probably quite a large position size because you're scalping, the market's suddenly, you know, shuddering one way or the other. And also you're vulnerable that, you know, we are human beings, guys, we make mistakes. Maybe it goes 10 ticks, maybe you don't quite pull the trigger, maybe you get deer in headlights syndrome every now and then. And it takes one of those to undo months of gains, weeks of gains, maybe not quite months, hopefully. So the kind of hybrid model, if you like, is to always have attached to your order a wide stop. So let's say you've got a 30 tick stop and you've got a, you know, your mind says, I want to give this about 8 to 12 ticks. So you give yourself a little bit of flexibility as well. That's my risk on this deal. I don't want more than that. Gets to wait, I'm going to look at it and go, do I want to take it out? Is it going to ping back? Do I need to give it a little bit more room? Am I definitely coming out? And so you've got that little bit of variability there, but you've also got the kind of hard stop should anything go wrong. It's like, listen, I know I'm out for 30 ticks. It's not nice. I expected to get 10, but it's not devastating. It's not 200 ticks. So some way of doing that is to have the hard stop in, give yourself the flexibility between whatever number you're doing. Say if, for example, then if we had a 10 tick hard stop, you might go between 8 and 12, give yourself some flexibility, but have the safety net of a hard stop. That way you can scalp in and out, and then you know you're putting a stop in as and when, and you don't have to think about it too much either. You're like, okay, about 30 ticks away, and you know, whether it's 31, 32 or 28, doesn't matter, it's the safety net. At least then you can slam that stop in, you know you're protected, take the trade out, stop comes out, whatever it may be. So you get the flexibility, get the intuition, get the speed of scalping, but with a safety net, rather than putting a stop in for every order. Like I say, just my preference on it. You may trade it differently. You might want the safety net of a stop for every single scalp trade, a hard stop, and that's fine. If that works for you, that's great. If it doesn't work for you, think of something else. The whole completely getting rid of stops might not be it. This hybrid solution might be something for you to consider. But like I say, guys, you know, check for yourself. Risky game scalping. You are vulnerable to your emotions getting the better of you with scalping, but it's all about finding the edge that suits you, understanding the risk of what you're trading and how you're trading. But take care, keep your risk managed, and I'll see you in the next one. By the way, guys, you know, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this one? Do you need stops when scalping? Do you use stops when scalping? That would be interesting. Take care, bye-bye.